Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tools Friday with Fixitgearware Security. On today's tool, we'll be discussing about the ZapProxy, which is a web penetration testing tool, and how this tool can aid you in web application penetration testing or bug bounty programs. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. The OWASP ZAP tool is an open source web application penetration testing tool built by ZapProxy. This tool functions the same way the burp-suite tool does, and these functionalities are on par when compared to the burp-suite Pro edition. ZapProxy also offers a marketplace where add-ons can be included into the tool. This add-on helps the web application penetration tester to include other functionalities such as importing URL text files in bulks into the tool and subsequently using those URLs to perform your various web application penetration testing you want to perform. To get the ZapProxy tool installed, visit the URL that is on the slide, the zapproxy.org, and navigate to the location where the download section is and download the version that corresponds to the Kali Linux OS. So these are the features of the ZapProxy when compared to the burp-suite from their official website. As you can see, in the community edition of the burp-suite, there is no collaborator for the user, so it's not made available. However, the equivalent of that is the host support add-on, which is available on ZAP. This host is also known as the out-of-bound application security testing. And this feature enables ZapProxy to detect out-of-bound vulnerability when scanning or attacking a web application URL. Also, when compared to the burp-suite Community Edition, the intruder is throttled for the free version or the community version in burp-suite. However, the equivalent in ZAP is known as the forcer, whereby you can force paths, directories, payloads, and so on. And these features comes all for free on the ZapProxy. So it's not just like it's a tool for web application penetration testing, but also that these amazing features comes as a free version in ZapProxy. Also for the live scan, in the community edition of burp-suite, there is no live scan functionality. However, for ZapProxy, the equivalent is the attack mode, and it's also available on the ZapProxy for free. So when you provide a URL and you click on attack, this URL would be attacked with the pre-configured or the default payloads that are available on ZapProxy to perform a series of attacks. And as the attacks are going on, reports about various vulnerabilities that were discovered on that particular link or URL of the web application will display to you, the user of this tool. Also for project files, ZapProxy offers the functionalities to spider a URL and group them in directories. So let's say you provide a URL w.example.com. While ZapProxy is scanning this URL, the various directories that are found in this URL will be grouped in the user's interface. So this also makes the web application penetration testing a bit more organized. You can now navigate through these various directories to see the various files stored in those directories or associated with those directories that was discovered by ZapProxy. So ZapProxy is a good tool and you should have it if you really are passionate about web application penetration testing. Also for the scanner, burp-suite Community Edition doesn't have the scanner active. However, for ZapProxy, the scanner is available and it's active as well. And this also is for free. You don't have to pay for this. It's free. Whenever I come across comments on social media where people have to complain about the burp-suite is always hanging, even though it's the paid version, and some other hassles they experience using this tool, it breaks my heart because people don't really know that there are other powerful open source tools out there. And we ourselves at Fixitgearware Security, we also have a paid version of burp-suite then, which has subsequently expired. But the truth is that using this paid version of these tools, it's not just something you should just rely on. As a web application penetration tester or cybersecurity expert, you should have a lot of cybersecurity tools in your arsenal. So whenever you experience a glitch in a familiar tool, you can skip using that tool and get something equivalent or much better than the tool that you experience in those hassles with. So ZapProxy is very awesome, and I would advise you, if you're getting started with web application penetration testing or bug bounty, you should get this tool. And not just that, always start with the open source tool first. Whenever you're getting into bug bounty or whatever program or even if you're pen testing for an organization, start with the open source tools first, the free ones first. Then as you subsequently work harder and you earn some income, you can now use those income and get other tools. But not just buying tools as well, you should also make a research about the tools you're buying, because at the end of the day, you don't want to spend hundreds, in some cases thousands of dollars buying expensive tools, and they don't really give you the result as expected. Or even if they give you the result, it comes with a lot of pain and frustration, because either the tool is consuming a lot of memory on your system or freezing your operating system, or there is a lot of complications understanding the UI or the various functionalities of the tool. So that's it for this. We'll be demonstrating right now how to install or get ZAP running on Kali Linux on VirtualBox, and probably just give you a few information about the various UI functions available on the tool. So to get this done, let's get our Kali Linux fired up on VirtualBox. So the first thing we want to do is we visit the official website of ZapProxy, and we head on to the download section. You scroll down. So this is the latest version of the ZapProxy, the 2.14.0, and it has the installation file for Windows 64-bit, 32-bit architecture, for Linux package, for Mac OS Intel-based chip, and for Mac OS Apple Silicon, and other cross-platform packages and core cross-platform packages. So for this demo, we'll be downloading for Linux installer about 208 megabyte file size. However, we've downloaded this file, but this is the file essentially you're supposed to download this. So once you're done downloading, the next thing you want to do is open your terminal and you go to downloads. That's definitely where our file will be. Then we list this file using the ls command. Now, as you can see, we already have the ZAP version already downloaded in our Linux machine. So the next thing we want to do is that we want to change the write of the file, which is the change mode using the chmod command. So we'll say change mode. So say change mode, O plus X. Then we copy this file, which is the ZAP file, right? And copy selection and paste clipboard, and we hit enter. Then if we ls again right now, you can see the color of the file has changed to green or light green. This is to let us know that this file has successfully been modified or has successfully been given the right to read and write and execute. So the next thing we want to do to execute this file, we just do the /. Then we put the file and we hit enter. Okay, so we say sudo and we hit enter and we provide our password. Now the installer should continue. We just click here, we click next. And of course you have to accept the license and agreement, and you click next. You can either choose custom or standard. So I prefer choosing standard to install everything, but if you really want to install with custom, you can do that. ZapProxy is not that complicated. So you click and you click on install, and we should be done in about a few seconds. Okay, done. And now we can clear this and we close this. Now you just come here and you search for ZapProxy. Yep. So it's loading right now. And the beauty about ZapProxy is that it's lightweight compared to burp-suite. It doesn't consume a lot of memory. You don't have to be scared that the tool will freeze or if anything is going to happen to the tool. Now for this, just close this. You can always select whatever you want to do here later. But since it's just a demo, we're not doing an active penetration testing. We'll just close this. Now let's increase the UI of this tool. And this is the interface of the ZapProxy. Now previously we said something about the marketplace, right? This is the icon for the marketplace. Once you click here, you can select anything you want to install. There's a lot of things you can install here. You can see the active scanner, the Ajax Spider. So Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML Spider. So you can just install from here, and if there's an update, you can also update. So you can see there is no update yet, but if there's an update, it's going to notify you. Sorry about that. Trying to expand this. So if there's an update, it's going to notify you that there's an update for the tools that are installed in the marketplace. So these are all installed. You can see for Reveal, for Script Console, for SOAP support. So there's a lot of things. So that's for the marketplace. Now you can see this is the new integration in the version that was just created, this latest version. You can see the ZAP support. And for scanning, for the ZAP attack, right? We have the automated and we have the manual explore. So what's the difference between these? For the automated, you just provide the URL, and this tool will automatically scan across the entire website, directories that are existing, and these files will be shown here. And for the manual, is for you to manually scan. I suggest you use this one whenever you're trying to inject your own payload. So if you're trying to inject your own payload, you're trying to use your own payload, that is where the manual explore comes in. However, if you want the ZapProxy to inject its own payload to conduct the web application scanning or attack for you, while you just review the results and see what came out of the scanning, then you can now use the automated scanning. So there are a lot of things about this. Also, here's the browser. So for this browser, it opens the ZapProxy browser with the HUD, whereby this HUD, you can be able to specify the scope, in scope and out of scope, if the URL is in scope. And this information that will be displayed to you will now become something or information you can use to check for the vulnerabilities. And one more thing again is that if you want to use ZapProxy, I will advise you, based on my years of experience testing web application, you should be very, very good with manual pen testing. You know, I believe burp-suite is a tool that gives the impression of a child that is a spoiled brat. So it's like everything, you just inject your script, automate, inject payload. However, for ZapProxy, you see how the UI is very complicated, and in as much as it is complicated, all these are for free. Also, I forgot to tell you this. Here we have the standard mode, we have the protected mode, we have the attack mode. So you can definitely choose anyone. Now, when we chose the attack mode, you can see additional information came out. And if we choose the safe mode, or we choose the protected mode, this will be different. So we can choose the protected mode, we can choose the standard mode, and so on. And so since we want to test, we just choose attack mode for now. So the next thing we want to do is we want to demo this, just demo the tool and show you how this works. For our target, let's pick a target. Let's pick our website, Fixitgearware.com. It's better for you to understand what's going on. So we provide this. Basically, this is what you'll be doing anyway when you are testing a web application. It's going to be a live target. So our website is secure, so we use S. And we put Fixitgearware here, right? Now I want to show you something right now. You can see the whole interface is clear, right? Now let's click on attack. Remember, this should be always if modern, right? You can always leave it here. or you can decide to choose always, but I always prefer to use if modern. Then I click on attack. Okay, sorry about that. Fixitgearware. So we click on attack. Sorry about that. We use the traditional spider in this sense that we are targeting a domain, right? So always remember, whenever you're targeting a domain, you have to specify or tick the traditional spider so that everything about the website will be crawled by this ZAP tool and information about this website will be displayed back to us. So let's put our website URL and we now click on attack. Now you can see it scanned the URL and it's done. And if we check the alerts, you can see right now it's giving us information about the URL. Now this is one trick. Don't look at this place. Focus on here. This flag here is for high impact. You can see high priority alerts. This is for medium, and this is for low, and this is informational or informative. And as you can see, while this tool is running, we do not have a freezing system. Whereas if you are using burp-suite even Pro, you definitely will be experiencing a lot of, freezing of your laptop. Your system is, the fan is heating up too much, or your laptop starts, having this absurd characteristics, which is like freezing always. So we can even look at this way. You can see we can go like this and everything is still running. So we go back and you can see we're still having this, and it's scanning through our website. It's trying to get information about the website, and so far it's scanning. We do not have any critical. Probably you should see like 2 or 3 criticals, and those criticals are not criticals from our website. It's based on the external links of the blog post we wrote on a series of web attacks that occurred. So this tool will crawl those external links and get information about them. So you might see something about credit card. Definitely it's not our website. But one thing that I love about ZapProxy as well is that everything is very organized. Everything is structured. Everything is structured. And as you can see the directory, right? Everything is grouped in directories. Everything. So I can decide to, okay, let me see this one for robots.txt. Okay, so yeah, if we click on this robot.txt, right, we can now click on response. You can see for the robot.txt, right? And if we click on site XML, and this reports you're seeing here right now, you can see our endpoint is Cloudflare. That means any information you see here, it's just basically Cloudflare, and it's still scanning. You should focus on this. This is the most important thing you should focus on. Once this gets to 100%, means that everything about that target has been, completed. You can now decide to, filter through the responses and get information about the target. All these are definitely not valid. Also, as a cybersecurity expert, you should learn how to not just code, but also how to secure web application. Yeah, I know we always are the offensive side of security, which is trying to break stuff, but it will always come handy if you know how to secure stuff. And to me, I always tell my students or people that I'm mentoring that offensive security by default makes you a defensive security team. And someone was saying, how does that sound like? So defenders are blue team. How does a red team becomes a blue team? The thing is that the red team is even more higher, or the demands or what is expected of the red team is more complicated when compared to the blue team, because you are the one breaking the stuff. So whenever I try to, let's say for instance, I try to find a vulnerability and I discover that certain information about an organization is being disclosed to the public. So that's an information disclosure vulnerability, right? So what comes to your mind? Why this happened? You definitely know that there is no proper access control. So you as an offensive expert, you should know where this information is coming from and what to be secured. Whereas for the blue team, their own functionality is just to implement that security. But if you're well advanced as a red teamer or a red team, you can also fix those issues or those troubles. So now you can see everything is done. And this is the beauty about this right now. You can see we have 11 alerts, and here we have CSRF. Okay, yeah, now we double click, right? You can see the information. Don't worry, there is nothing about this information here useful. We're just showing you this is basically how you hack a target. And if we scroll, you can see there's a lot of information here, and it also gives you reference like cheat sheet for what you need to do or information about this vulnerability discovery. Now you can decide to copy this by using the Ctrl+C. Let's just do this. You can copy this by using the Ctrl+C, right? And let's close this. Okay, let's see. Text file. Paste. Now you can see the information we just copied right now is here. So you can copy those informations and use them to build your reports. That is another beautiful thing about ZAP. So with ZAP, these informations have been provided for you. It makes your report straightforward. You don't need to be thinking like, oh, I need to start generating reports, cracking my brains on what to write. So you can just copy this stuff, make your reports more clean or precise, put those reference links, and also additional POC, which is the proof of concepts that you have discovered in this situation, or in a situation whereby you're using your own payloads to do the injection. Now, let's go back to ZAP. If we go back to ZAP right now, let's say we want to open this URL using the ZAP, right? We just click on, select the URL, and we click on the Firefox icon. And as you can see, ZAP is already launching the website URL using ZAP. And you can see the event. It's okay. So here now it's showing us a lot. We just say continue. No, we are not taking a tutorial, but if you really want to take a tutorial about this, you can do this. And I suggest you don't close this, should in case in the future you want to know if your ZAP is having issues. So the next thing you can see, it's popping a lot of various, discovery, then we can now click continue to your target. So these informations basically are just based on Cloudflare configurations. Don't worry, there's nothing useful there. So now we can now say here, we click this out of scope or in scope. So you can say add current domain to scope, you say add. Now, if we click here, right, every of the sites or every of the links that has those information popped up by the alerts will be displayed here. So if we click here right now, you can see this is our website. And if we click, it's going to tell us the information. It tells us it's medium, confidence, high, and the information. So do not worry. There's nothing useful here. And we can do Ctrl+C and we minimize this. You can see even while we're still running all this multiple stuff, your system is not freezing. You can see this is what we just copied right now. So your system is not even freezing. That's the beauty about ZAP. Imagine you're using burp-suite right now. Definitely your system is like some Bitcoin mining machine or something like that. I don't even really know. But with ZAP, you just have a very awesome interface. And it's funny thing is it's free. It's not, you don't even have to pay for this. I've been using it, but sometimes I try to use burp, pay for burp, in case we are pen testing for organizations whereby, we definitely want them to see what we did. And most organizations are not too familiar with the ZAP. Their own security team, they use the burp-suite, right? So this is where you now need to buy this tool, and telling them to go and install tools like ZAP is like a pain in the ass to them because they don't really know how it works. And it's not something they would want to venture their time into. As ZAP, as we know, has a lot of documentation as well. So take your time, go through their website and read about their documentation. And you can see here also our CPU is just so cool. These are the information running right now. You can see not so much. So we can close this, and you can see it's just using about 7% to 9%. This includes our ZapProxy, the Firefox, and every other thing's running on the system, which includes the Linux stuff. So we're only using 5 to 7% of our system. So just try and get this tool Forget about paying for tools, especially when you're starting or you're just getting started with hunting bugs. Do not rush and pay for tools, because at the end of the day, it's always good to get the resources, then reinvest those resources, than taking loans or spending money without first of all making, a little income from bug bounty or penetration testing. So ZapProxy is awesome. I tell you the truth, it's very awesome. And we probably will be doing the penetration testing course, demonstrating this tool in depth. So if we come here right now, let's open this. Okay, this is our video. You can see there's most of the stuff we have here is our CDN or third-party script we're calling. Okay, so let's see for this. Okay, let's see this. Now, let's say you want to force something, right? You just, let's look for a URL. Okay, let's look for a URL. Is there any URL? Let's look for a URL. So this is the, I forgot to tell you this. This is the WebSockets. You can see the IDs. You can also choose by this, and everything will be filtered. You can also just leave it all channel. And for the alerts, it's completed. You can see these are all we got. It's all the information. So we can now looking for a URL. Okay, CRF. So now 200. Okay, right? Okay, let's now force this. We come down here, we click on forcing, and now you can see this is the URL, right? So we can say edit. We come here. Let's say we want to force. Let's say login.php. Now we want to force this, right? We just save this. Then we come here. We just add this, and we click on add. Now it's going to tell us the option. Do we want to put the content if it's a string, or we want to have a custom word list or payloads? So if you want to choose file fuzzers, if you want to use rigorous, if you want to use strings, if you want to use scripts, let's say we want to use a file. Of course, it's telling us it's a text file, UTF-8. So these are the 3 common file extension it provides. It tells us that this is UTF-8, which is a text file. Then we click on select. So to get our word list, we go to the root, and we go to user, and we go to share, and we look for word list. Just expand this. You can see we are not even experiencing any freezing or any problems, right? That's the beauty of ZapProxy. So let's look for word list. Where's your word list? Okay, this. And here we can look for, and we can now say common extension. And as you can see, right? So let's say we want to search for files that has this extension. We've encoded it. We just click on add. We click on OK, right? And you can see green is already added. So the next thing we want to do is just say start fuzzer, and you'll see what's going to happen. Now it's done, right? Now let's see. We can now come in and say, okay, check for code. 200. Okay, and we can see it's the original. And if we come here, so it's the default, and it tells us the alerts. And these are the various extensions that was forced, and there was nothing like that. And for this one too, it tells us reflected this part, and that's all. So ZapProxy is cool. And if you want to import text file, let's say you want to import text file, you can now select here, import URLs from log files, import a file containing URLs. And for GraphQL, for those who are into GraphQL testing, this is how to import the schema for GraphQL. And not just that, there's a lot of functionalities this tool offers. ZapProxy, if you're very good with ZapProxy, you would never pay for burp-suite. You only pay for burp-suite if you're testing applications for organizations that basically their security team uses the burp-suite. So whatever they are going to fix or whatever vulnerability you discover, they would also have to use the burp-suite to test the POCs to confirm that this is an actual vulnerability. Aside that, I tell you the truth, if you're very, very good, you understand manual penetration testing, and you got skills, don't even really need to start looking for paid burp-suite. Just stick to ZapProxy, work your way up, and once you earn a lot of a few cash enough to pay for burp-suite, and you feel that there's a necessity for you to have it, which is based on the organizations you're testing or the organizations you want to file or send these reports to, then burp-suite is to be purchased. Don't just buy it because you want to buy it, because you know that at the end of the day, these organizations will be using the same tool to test whatever information you provided in the report. And what else? Also, for ZapProxy as well, you should always constantly check for updates. They're always releasing updates, and all these are free. And these updates, so far, no one has ever complained in the community about this tool. You can check information about this tool. And when you get these updates and there are little changes you think you've experienced, do not, hesitate to drop us a comment on Twitter, also known as X, so we can demo these discoveries that you have discovered. And also, you can also add scripts. Okay. You can also add scripts. And also, here you can go back here, you can say quick start, and we can go back here and click for manual explore. So manual explore means we want to just open this URL using the ZapProxy Firefox and get information about this URL. For scripts, you can also add scripts options. So let's click on this. It says scripts. Yeah, so you can see for scripts, right? We can, add it. You put your script and you click OK. So previously in the older versions, scripts usually, the icon usually is always here. And you can see also you have the functionalities to also generate report. Yeah, also I forgot to tell you about other functionalities. You can also generate report of a target. Let's say we come here. Let's close all this. Let's close all this. So we just come here, we click on generate report, right? And we click on, it tells us where do we want to save it. We can just come here and say on desktop, and we just leave it here by the default report name, right? And we can say generate report. And you can see the content of our reports. Everything that was scanned, information that was discovered. Now from this report, you can see most of these are based on our third-party cookies and media players that we have on our website. And if you look at this, it's also the cookie provider, not us, because it's going to be a shame that you're a cybersecurity organization and you're not really security conscious. And various CVEs and IDs and CWEs, the informations will be displayed to you. So with this report right now, you can now refine your own report. It doesn't mean you should save this report and just take this stuff and send to your client. No, you don't want to look unprofessional. So from here, you can just check the necessary information that you need or that are very essential, to the organization. Then you can take that information and put in the report and send. So we have finally come to an end of today's episode, and we hope you learned something new. If there are other ways you think we can make this content better, kindly leave your comments below in the comment section of this video. Also, do not forget to give us the goodies, which are the likes, by tapping that thumbs up button, subscribe by also hitting that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to get notified when another episode drops on Tools Friday with Fixitgearware Security. Thanks for watching, and see you next week on another episode. Bye for now.